So, there's this woman, Seidel Mann. She has a brother, Edward, and a cousin named Max who sells cars. They're all from Staten Island. Edward's the VP of the Staten Island Historical Society, and he's also a real estate attorney. He knows there's a plot of land on Forest Avenue up for grabs. It's the Cherry Lane Cemetery, a historically black cemetery that's part of the African Methodist Episcopal Church. Cemeteries are tax exempt, unless the correct paperwork isn't filed. The correct paperwork wasn't filed. Also, the cemetery was zoned for commercial use, at least since 1916. The families of those buried there never knew this, but Edward Menden did. There's a post-war development boom on Staten Island. Seidel, rather than Edward, files a lawsuit against the owners of the cemetery. Edward is Seidel's lawyer. She uses her married name, so there's no way to tell they're siblings. Seidel says that there is no cemetery. Investigators testify they've interviewed neighbors who hadn't seen any burials take place. There hadn't been any burials since the early 1900s. However, even though there were no headstones, there were still people buried there. The Board of Trustees who own the cemetery retain the law firm of Bracestead and Bracestead. They still lose. In 1954, the court rules that there is no cemetery, and Seidel buys the land at auction for $1,000. That same day, she sells it to her brother Edward for $100. In 1962, Edward and his wife die in a plane crash. Mad Men filmed an episode about it.
There could be 100 people on there. Just fell out of the sky.
Seidel once again becomes owner of the property. She sells it to her cousin, Max Menden, the car salesman, for $75,000. With Max Menden as owner, it becomes a Shell station. When Max dies in 1980, the property is sold for $550,000. By 1988, it's a strip mall. And that's how a cemetery becomes a strip mall. P.S. The owner sold the property in 2005 for $4.5 million.